Welcome everyone to Chessbus TV episode 353. Today is April 33rd. Today is May 2nd, 2017. We're going to try another variant we've never done before. This is actually a variant no one on the planet has done before, in my humble opinion. If you find someone who's done that, kill them, and then it will be true. We're going to play where pieces must capture pieces, or really anything must capture pieces, but only pieces. And if you're a chess player, you know a pawn is not a piece. That's why you can be down a piece for a pawn, which is like a knight for a pawn or a bishop for a pawn. So anything that's not a pawn has to be captured of the opponents. But pawns, you can ignore those. So let's try that out and see the repercussions of that right now. I'm clicking play with a friend. I'm clicking time control 1+4. I'm clicking variant standard. Not really true, but we'll see how this goes. So this means an opponent's knight, opponent's bishop, opponent's rook, or opponent's queen. If you can capture it with anything, you must. So it's kind of a must capture game, but that pawn exception makes a big difference, because when you play a full must capture game, you know, you play e4 and they just bloop a6 and you have to take it, right? So you put your pawn out here and bloop, and then you have to throw away your bishop, and then you have to throw away another piece, and pretty soon you've thrown away your whole army because you have to, and it's not a very interesting game. But with this pawn exception, that's no longer going to be true. Ready? Good, ready? Are you ready, Shockwave? I've never heard of Shockwave 21, so I'm a little bit concerned that he's not going to play by the rules. But he says he's got it, so let's try it. I have had, every now and then, the horrible luck of the opponent just cheating on me. Usually that's my job. All right, e4, c5. Let's play. Okay, so here's the idea. Here's the idea to my strategy. Yeah, let's just play the Grand Prix attack. So I want to make his queen be able to capture one of my pieces. That's my ultimate goal. If I could get my bishop over here, I guess I should just let it go and not try to do that. But if I could get his queen to attack, say, a knight that's guarded, he loses his queen. So that's really reducing the power of queens, and it makes me want to go set that up right now. I'm not hearing the chess pieces, so let's see if we can fix that. There we go. No forced captures here yet. I did have to capture that knight actually as soon as I attacked it. So it's interesting that he played a6 here, because I had to take the knight anyway. It was a piece under attack, so I was forced to capture that. So far, this is actually a standard chess position. Black does not want to play this capture this trade here, take these pawns off the board. The reason is that leaves these two pawns very weak, because they're isolated doubled pawns, which is among the worst kind of pawn you can have. The only kind worst would be triple isolated and perhaps quadruple isolated. I normally would bring my queen around like this, but once I do that, I have to take the knight, so I need to be very careful with the queen. Let's try something different. Let's not try something different. Let's just see how it goes. We really need to be careful with the queen. Queen g3 seems possible. And then just mount an attack with the queen. Seems like attacking with the queen, very risky, because that queen could get, you know, too close to an enemy piece and have to capture it. But so far, we're just playing chess. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to take this extra space. Normally, you wouldn't play e5 in this position because you just like the tension. But here, I can't stand the tension. It's too tensiony. I'm going to adjust my streaming settings just a little bit here. Looks like we're having some latency. Maybe this will help. Sorry about that, CatWeb99. I will do my best. So an enemy knight has moved into this area. If I push, then I'm going to be forced to capture that. I think that'll be a mistake, so let's try it. This is a mistake. I am now forced to play this capture. Oh. Yeah, that's why it's a mistake. I just blundered the pawn. Well, that just makes me feel kind of dumb. Attack the knight again. I wanted the bishop. I wanted to double his pawns, but I'm a little bit short-sighted today. You'll just have to bear with me. This is actually getting to look like a good attack. This is, oh no, this is a forced capture. Forced capture. And forced capture. And now how can I win his queen here? His queen is out there. Rook f2 forces him to trade his queen for my rook, but then I'm still down the exchange. I'm not really excited to do that. So let's defend the pawn. I could also win the queen this way, which is a more attractive way. He had to have to capture that, and it's not losing a rook. So let's see how this goes. He saves his queen, but I actually believe now that I'm a gentleman and a scholar, that queens aren't very valuable, because at any moment they could get sucked into capturing a piece. Let's double the rooks on this file here. Then they just simply don't have that flexibility that they normally would. Now I need to win. And right now I'm not winning. Excellent square for the knight here. Look at that. Look at that square. This is going to be good. Oh, this is too attractive. I can't turn that down. Bishop attacking rook. The rook comes up to d5. That is a surprise for sure. What I'd like to do, if I play in here, he has to capture it. So that would be fun, but maybe not fun enough. I might need to find something more fun. Let's protect this skewer here so that if he attacks the bishop and it moves, I don't lose on a2. Oh yeah, that was required. Get off of this diagonal. What I want to do is get the bishop protected and then in range of the queen. So something like this. Not working yet. My two rooks doing nothing. This must capture variant is not helping me. I'm pretty much just losing a chess game. Very boring start to the show. ChessWhiz losing a chess game. Everybody watch. Ooh, cool. He's losing. This is exciting. By playing my rook here, I keep him from advancing his pawn. This is really critical because these two pawns are so powerful together. Anytime two pawns are side by side, they are effective. Pawns stacked up like this are not effective. That's called doubled pawns. That's really bad. So he's going to be able to push, unfortunately, and get his pawns more side by side. Oh, how do I win his queen? I want to win his queen. This is a bad situation for me. B3. If he takes, I have rook takes rook with a check coming. Checks are really good, guys. You should always check the opponent. Okay, this is my chance to win his queen. If I could just defend that bishop somehow. But I cannot, so let's not try it just yet. This is going to be a forced capture here. Man, this is just falling apart. And this is really bad. This is really bad. Oh, he's just got ahead a bunch of material and then beat me. Very disappointing. Actually, the loss of allowing this to become a passed pawn was a big part of this game, which he did very well. So this would be a really cool move for him. If I were him right now, I'd be super happy because there's a lot of interesting things to do, but I'm not, so I'm not super happy. But this move, if I take it, he soon promotes. Would be pretty fun for him. The one saving idea for my position here is that the bishops are opposite color. And so if I can trade my rook for his queen, which I intend to do here, then I'll survive maybe. Yes, I did it. I did it. Take the rook. Oh, yeah. I didn't really do it. Actually, he just blundered into it. You have to take back and take that rook because you can. Take back proposition accepted. And now, much, much more survivable position. I can go actually take this pawn and he can't stop me. Wait a minute. If I take and he pushes, I will lose. So let's make sure I don't lose first and then we'll deal with that later. Okay. Back to livelihood. This is a draw. I think I'll offer a draw right now. I think maybe I can drive this pawn, forcing his king to go this direction. And then while his king is over there, I'm like bloop 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 bloop. And then what? Right? Opposite colored bishop's very hard to do anything, but let's see what we can do here. Probably nothing. The way to improve this variant is to make better moves, actually. This variant was not very interesting in this first game because my moves weren't very good. So at this point, oh, he's so kind moving backward like that. I think if he just left his king here, I could not drive it away. And he could just, do this with his bishop back and forth and back and forth. Isn't that a cool shape right there? The double arrow shape. It's pretty cool. And at that point, I could do nothing. But thankfully, he is messing around over here, letting my king come in, take some more pawns. Maybe I could actually win this game now that he's made those losses, those bad moves. If I take... I'm going to try to keep more on the board just to keep it more complex. Every pawn set that I trade makes it a little bit more difficult to do anything. To save this pawn better than not saving it. Oh, maybe I should have taken that one though. Yeah, I think I should have because I can't win this. Definitely can't win this. So I'm going to have to offer this guy a draw. I do wonder though, what if I had taken the F pawn here? Back. What if I had taken the F pawn here? And then he takes this pawn, and then I take this pawn, that would be pretty exciting. I actually think I might end up losing that because he could trade his bishop for this, no problem. And meanwhile, this one would be too much for my bishop. So it's a good thing I didn't lose that game. Very good. I've got a challenge here from Artem555, but the time control is too long, Artem. It was too long. That's what she said. Let's play a game against the viewership here. Another must capture piece game. We're going to try to revive the quality of this variant because if we get another game like that last one, it's just like mostly chess with some blunders. Let's not do that. Otherwise, we're going to never play this variant again. There will only be one time it's ever been played. Are you ready, Stubenfish? Stubenfish. Great, great player. I think he's ready, so I'm just going to start. Pieces must capture. So we've learned that the queen is a little hard to catch if controlled well. I mean, I wasn't able to ensnare that queen. Let's play a Panov Botvinnik attack here. Named after a Mr. Botvinnik and a Mr. Frank, I think. Something like that. Simple game. I think he's building a way to catch my queen. Look at that. When he plays bishop there, I have to take him. Nice try, buddy. But I'm just going to play chess. How are you going to stop me from playing chess? I don't think it's that easy to win my queen, man. Nice trap. Nice trap. Queen would have to capture, pawn would capture my queen in no time, but fortunately I can just move my knight and I'm completely safe. Yeah, this variant is just like chess except boringer. Seriously. So far, so good. Gonna move my bishops, castle, bring my rooks out, and then maybe something will happen. I do have to be very careful with my rooks. The white player in this position generally gets more space at the cost of the isolated D pawn. So when these two pawns trade off, this pawn is going to remain, and this is going to be a forced capture if I play there. But what can I do? What can I do? This pawn that remains is an isolated pawn. It has no friends on the C file, no friends on the E file. It is all by itself, which means only pieces can defend it. Pawns cannot defend it, which is bad. I mean, you want pawns to defend your pawns because what else could they do, right? It gives them a job that's at the level of their quality. It's like having the CEO of Tesla, the venerable Elon Musk, work on the assembly line if you have your rook behind your pawn defending it, because there's so much more he could be doing. He could be inventing spaceships that travel to Mars, which actually he is doing because he's not working on his own assembly line, but instead he's doing this awful boring job. And that's exactly what it's like to have a piece defending a pawn. You want your pawns to defend pawns. You want your assembly line guys to do that. So here's oh no, my queen. Another blunder of the exact same type. I must trade my queen for a piece. However, he must now trade his queen for a piece. Let's throw the check in, maybe? Should I do that? I don't think I can benefit from that. Check, block with bishop. I have to take. Queen takes. Actually would get a worse position. So let's just move back and force him to trade for my knight. There's the forced capture. I'm now down a pawn, though, so that small blunder did worsen my position. Let's see if I can survive this. I was saying I have to be careful with that extra space, because when I do play my rooks into some excellent files here, like the C file and the E file, think back to when those files were actually open. At that point, they're in danger of attacking a piece and being forced to capture. So it's a very, very delicate position here. I could check. Would he block with a pawn, really? I think he would. I think he would do that. I'm going to play c4 so that I can check him. I love checking my opponents. Oh, yeah, c4 was a bad move because it's on the same color as the bishop. Now look what I've done. This is like Elon is back on the assembly line here. The bishop acting like a pawn, basically. I have forced capture. Yeah, this is very poor. Now I've just got to play c5 because the pawn is in the way. Never put your pawns on the same color as the bishop. It's very tempting as a beginner to put your pawns in front or on the colors of your bishop in this case in very many similar positions because it's tempting because it solves the problem of my pawn's under attack. I need to defend it because when it's on the same color, it can defend. The downside is your bishop is not being very awesome. Being a defender. It's that old assembly line analogy again. You want your bishop to be active and aggressive. So by putting it on the opposite color, let's say the bishop were on the dark squares here. Oh, here, I'll offer you a take back. Oh, we can't do take backs. Okay, I'll move back here. Oh, it's a pawn that has to capture piece. I actually thought for a moment that only pieces had to capture pieces, but that's not true. Actually, pieces must be captured if possible. And that would be his piece that must be captured. Great play, Stubenfish. Great play. Yeah. I think I got to resign this game. There's no way that I can use the variant to get an upper hand here. Only he can gain an upper hand in that position. Great game, Stubenfish. Great strategy to take a pawn for free. I mean, he's got 3 attackers here, and he's coming in on the D pawn. I only have 2 defenders. That's how he won the game. But the extra twist of him having to trade my queen for a piece, that made it even more potent. So in 2 games now, I've traded my queen for a piece by blundering a pawn and then having my queen there attacking it. That's not very good, but we're going to redeem this variant. This 3rd game, it's going to be all new and different. The strategy here is to not leave a pawn hanging for free. That's the new plan. And if I don't do that, the game will be completely different and interesting. It's going to be great. Mohammed, I'm so glad I'm playing you. I think you're great. I want to put the rules here in the chat. I trust you know them. Let's play this line. I like playing e6 because it can be played against any move. Whether he plays e4 or d4, it can still be played, so it allows you to slam out a quick move in a fast game. Also, I love playing the French defense. So if he switches over to e4 next, and these are his first 2 moves, doesn't matter which one he started with, I still get the French defense. So it's a great position for me. Now, if I play the fianchetto, my bishop will soon have to be traded off. That's definitely a downside to this variant. But I'm going to do it. This variant's too much like chess. That's why I keep losing. I need a variant that's like so different. Like as soon as you make a move, it transforms into a game of Stratego. And then after the next move, bam, it's a game of Settlers of Catan. I would win that variant. I'd be much better at that. I'll trade you a sheep for a bishop. Oh yeah, I'll do that. I need to build a boat. I could win that. So it's a forced capture here. No, it's not forced, but after I do, then my bishop will be forced here. Seems okay. I mean, it's not great. Let's take with the pawn. Let's take with the pawn. It's true the bishop's blocked in, but this diagonal is still very useful. It's amazing how useful fianchetto bishops are, even when they're blocked by things. Like in this position, the bishop, it's doing nothing, right? But it's still really putting a lot of pressure on this square, so he cannot advance it very easily. I'm going to play for c5, I think. Rook e1, very dangerous. Yeah, I think we can go with c5 because the rook would have to capture anything that moved in front of it. This might be dangerous as a response. I don't think it is, but you know, what if you don't look closely? Then it could become dangerous. Take. These are called the hanging pawns. Very confusing term because hanging usually means it can be captured for free. But in this case, it's not hanging. It's hanging pawns, which means 2 pawns side by side on open files for the opponent. And there's no friendly pawns on these 2 files to protect them. My opponent offers a take back. Sure, Mohammed, let's do a take back. The hanging pawns are very interesting dynamic because the player with them has extra space, but the player without them, oh yeah, you do have to capture that. See, the best move would be this. has a hard time defending them. Neither one can be defended by a pawn, and if you advance one, then the backward one is really kind of vulnerable. So this is forced. And now he's going to have to trade his queen for a knight. Yes, except then I'm going to have to trade my queen for a knight. So this is going to get real fast. Oh, he could trade his queen for a rook instead. I think my goal should be to take his knight with my rook so that I don't have to use my queen to do it. Should I capture this way, messing up my pawn structure to save my queen? Yes. What should I do? What I really want is cheese. I want a great big piece of cheese right now. That would be so good. I'm moving the rook so that he has to take the knight, and then I'm capturing this way. My pawns completely fell apart. I'm doing this so that I can have a better quantity of pieces because I'm way ahead in pieces right now. My pawns, huge downgrade, and it's a more of a permanent downgrade, but I suppose material is also quite permanent. How will my queen survive this? I don't know. I'm thinking my queen is going to have to trade for a rook right here, right now. But on the plus side, that's forced. It's a knight against a rook. So I was seeing this far ahead, and look at that. This check looks really good right now. Check. Oh, that's a really good check. How good is it? 100% good. It's difficult to find a move better than checkmate, and I just found checkmate. So I actually think that maneuver really helped me because now I have rook versus knight, and I'm not going to lose my rook. Let's say I don't have checkmate here. Not going to lose my rook to the knight, so it's actually a great kind of opportunity to do that. Interesting. Well, I think we have time for one more game. Let's get one more game here against the viewership. Interesting variant. I think it's too much like chess to be really interesting. I could not see this variant catching on. Simply too similar to chess and too obnoxious. The traps are not very, these traps don't make you feel like you're a smart person who discovered a trap. The traps make you feel like a bad, dirty person who's like, well, I'm doing this because the rules say it's best, but yeah, that's how it makes you feel. Getting some comments in the chat here saying that Settlers of Catan is stupid. Why would Cheswick say anything positive about Catan? I completely agree. Settlers of Catan is stupid. Why would I say anything positive about it? It's horrible. In the first part of the game, you put your settlement on the board, right? And then 2 hours of agony, 3, 4 hours while they're like, please trade with me. And you're like, no, I'm not going to trade with you. And then they beg more. It's awful. The problem with Settlers of Catan is twofold. First of all, you've never heard of it. That's the first problem. The second problem is after you place your starting settlements, a good player can really tell you who is likely to win just from that. And that happens at the start. It's like, okay, setting up. It's like setting up the chessboard. Guys, click this link. It's like you set up the chessboard and then an expert walks up and he's like, oh, you set it up like that? Black's probably going to win this game. Yeah, I can see your queen started on that square. So you don't really have to think through this game, That's what Settlers of Catan is like, because you can get a good setup or a bad setup just based on starting placement and really set you back. The other problem is if you start to win, everybody gangs up on you. And in my case, everybody thinks I'm smart. So they just gang up on me right at the start. And they're like, no, I want 7 wood for that sheep. It's horrible because there's this trading dynamic and all they have to do is announce an embargo and your headache will begin. So it's a pretty obnoxious game. If you like Settlers of Catan, but you're annoyed by those elements, you should play Puerto Rico, which is somewhat similar, but it's actually a good game. Puerto Rico, look it up. It's a pretty old game. It's like 12, 15 years old right now, but it's pretty good. So check that out. This is a King Pawn game, the first King Pawn game of the show. Happy to see it. I'm definitely happy to see this game. It's not a Queen Pawn game. Got some notifications here. Notification from YouTube. Better check this out. Have I been banned from YouTube? Let's see what it says. New comment on your video, episode 181. Wow, you are watching old episodes, whoever you are. I think I castle here? What? What are you doing? I'll castle. New comment on episode 181, legs reach chess. Legs reach chess. I must have been drunk when I named that variant. Legs reach chess. Okay. And the comment says, if you want to make the pawn side stronger in horde, you could play legs reach horde. This guy also is drunk. Legs reach horde. Can you imagine two grown adults? There's really no other kind, saying to each other, you know what we should do right now? We should play legs reach horde. Yeah, you would definitely need to take them to a psych ward at that point. Legs reach. What does that even mean? Legs reach means that you have to move. I think you have to move a minimum of 2 squares. I think that's what that rule set was. Like, you cannot move anything 1 square. You have to move everything 2 squares. Minimum. I think that's what that was. What an awful name, though. I mean, ChessWiz, you are making me laugh. Old ChessWiz is funnier than new ChessWiz. So far, though, I'm liking this position. I've got an open file. These 3 center pawns, I mean, I've got doubled pawns, but they work together very well in the center because this pawn, even though it's doubled, is doing some great things. It is going to become the president of the university. I think. Whatever that means. It's good, okay? Don't judge me for my bad analogies. Just because they're like feathers on a snake. Okay, the rooks are doubled up. This is a good position. Symmetrical, but good. How do I win material here? How do I, like, get a huge advantage? If I play my knight here, then I could fork him, and then I could take his queen. Okay, in 3 moves, I could get a great advantage. Should I play for d5? I don't think I get much out of that. Let's try this move. No, I'm going to be forced to play that because it's the must-capture game. What can I even do here? Oh, I know. King h8. If in doubt. You know, I learned he's going to have to take this. So this is great. Rook takes f6. LOL. I learned a awful saying in chess. It's not true. It's if in doubt, push a pawn. That was the saying. It's I say was because it's so bad it's no longer a saying. It's horrible advice. If in doubt, don't push a pawn, okay, guys? The reason is moving a pawn forward can never be undone. That is, you cannot move it backward again. So every time you push a pawn, you're giving up opportunities. The opportunity to not have pushed that pawn. Let's use this file now. So by saying, I don't know what to do, I'll push a pawn, is like saying, I don't know what to do, I'll handcuff myself. Now I have fewer options. Not a great choice. If I push here, I'm attacking the knight, but then if he defends it, I lose my queen for the knight. So let's not do that. Let's continue a slow maneuver. Bring the knight in here, maybe. So I've unlearned that habit. My life's much better now. Oh, now I have to take this. But I wonder if I could win his queen. Nope. Oh, no, I can't. I could force a knight trade, which I'll do. Now when I take this for free, it's going to feel good. Yes, because he has to take my queen, and now I'm ahead of pawn. I'm ahead of pawn. This is like chess, but except I'm winning, which is very unusual for chess. I think I want a rook trade, and the variant rules are going to very much be beneficial here because when I play this move, he has to take me. And at that point, I can win the endgame. I really think I can win this endgame. Which is great because this is a rated game because this is just totally chess we're playing right now. It's definitely chess, and that's why it's rated. And I think I have more pawns than him. Let's count carefully. 1, 2, 7, 9, 14. Yep, I'm winning. Does it matter what I do? It doesn't matter. I could go like this, and it doesn't matter. I guess I could kill myself. That would matter. Mostly it doesn't matter what I do. Push, I think. Oh, no, should I take these pawns off the board? I think I should use the fact that there's pawns on that side of the board, and then I should use this pawn majority as well. This is like chess 101. I shouldn't be confused about how to win such a simple position, but somehow my brain's a little cloudy today, as you've seen from the other games, and this is the best I can do. Let's play that move so that he can't move his things and I still can. This is actually really useful in pawn endings to be able to have a little bloop or a little bloop, because anytime you're like, oh, I wish I could pass, you don't have to pass. You can move that forward. And so having that extra pawn area just so that you can make a small pawn move and the opponent can't is very useful. If I defend that, that really slows him down, which is critical because it's 2 moves till I get my queen, and I just turn it from 7 into 8 moves for him before he gets a queen. Let's go here. I don't know, man. This looks bad for you. if you're me, maybe I'll just go, oh, but if you're you, you will lose. Wow, I'm surprised you're still playing. So I'm going to take this moment to tell you that that you're in check, that there's an excellent website you should visit. Bring my king over here. It is chesswiz.tv. Great website because there's something new down here. If you scroll down to the bottom, which you can't see because I've chopped up the screen, but if you scroll down to the bottom, let me shrink this window so you can see it. See that? See that right there? There is a place you should put your email address. Put your email address in there and click subscribe at chesswiz.tv. And I'm putting the link in the video chat. I'm putting the link in the description of the video. Everywhere the link is, the link is. It's a great place to click the link and then put your email in, because I really want your email. I'm going to make millions of dollars with your email address. Ooh. Actually, no, I just want your email because I'm kind of weird. But you should do that. And also, next episode, which you really want to see, is going to be 5 games at the same time. 5 chess games at the same time, which is going to be pretty fun. I mean, if one chess game is good, how much better would 5 chess games be? About 5 times better. It's going to be very good. So sit tight for that. If you join live for that show, then you may be one of the 5. You just have to be one of the 5 quickest clickers to join the simultaneous exhibition. Looking forward to that. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today. Unfortunately, we're wrapping up, but we'll be back soon enough. By the way, I've been doing a lot more streaming on Twitch. You Twitch guys know about this. So if you haven't followed the Twitch, check the video description and click the where it says Twitch, because then you click follow and you can get emailed whenever I come on. And sometimes that doesn't go on YouTube. In fact, it usually doesn't. So if you're only a YouTube subscriber, you're missing the live shows with dance music and headbanging and all kinds of interesting things. So be sure to sign up for that. That's everything I have to say. I will see you next time. This has been ChessWiz TV. Thanks for watching.